without further ado, I'd like to introduce Vanessa. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor for us to be here, especially when the groups get together. And it's commendable, this joint effort, when we want to expand our horizons and feel more than getting the knowledge, it's narrowing the ties and being closer together. And tonight especially, we were very happy to hear that the Joanna the Angelis Spiritist group is celebrating 15 years. It's a lot of work. And congratulations to the group that is celebrating this many years and a lot more ahead of us. And we know that every time there is good works on earth, it's divine sent. It's God sent. So we thank God for the opportunity of working and regenerating ourselves. Because that feeling that we doing works together, we feel better, makes everybody better. And that's what we're going to talk about now. It's about our emotions. This feeling that we're feeling now. What if we could carry that feeling every day in our everyday lives? Can you imagine that? Every time we begin a Spiritist meeting or a Spiritist event, people feel so good. When they're leaving, like, oh, I don't want to leave, I want to stay here. Is that possible? To develop that type of feeling in our everyday lives. It reminds us of a story of a guy. He was very determined. He used to work very hard elsewhere. And one day, I've got to know today of this story, he moved to Canada. He moved to Canada. Being an immigrant is not easy anywhere in the world, because you redefine yourself. That's why the good spirits, they taught us years ago, when we immigrate, we are reincarnating in a reincarnation without the forgetfulness of the past, which sometimes can be very tricky. So he immigrated, and it can be quite challenging. Science says that one of the things in ourselves that will be targeted when we immigrate is our self-esteem. We're going to get to know things about ourselves we've never observed before. Starting from our names to little details about our appearance and relationships. It's discovering ourselves from a new perspective. For this man, it was so difficult because he was already an angry person. And when he immigrated, his anger levels went to the roof. So he had to find help for anger management. He came to the therapist and said, I heard that this anger is in my genes. People told me it must be in my genes. Where is it? Please tell me, because my mom is very quiet, very peaceful. I've never seen her in an anger fist. My father is a normal guy. I cannot find this gene in my family. Where is it? Tell me. I've heard about the genetic therapy. Is it gene therapy already there for me in that regard? Because if I keep walking this line, it's going to be a problem. I'm already troublemaker where I work, because whenever I'm angry, I say what I feel, and then I become angrier, and I can't continue this way. And then the therapist, he said to me, was so empathetic to the whole thing. She smiled and said, oh, you come from Brazil, right? They started talking about Brazil and being But in that scenario, something was telling the therapist, help this man to verify that anger is not in the genes. You cannot blame your body for how you're feeling. Your body does not dictate your feeling. How would she say that? So she started talking about Brazil. And Brazil here, Brazil there, Brazil here, and there. It's like a soccer game, you know? The ball here, ball there, ball here. And then suddenly, he said, yeah, I've heard about this spiritism. He said, you know, I think what you need is not in the gene, it's not in the medication, it's here in this book. And she gave him, because she had it in her purse, she gave him her own, the Gospel according to Spiritism. She opened in a page that is entitled, above other things, the subtitle was Anger. Let me read it to you. Do not blame your body for the tendencies you carry in your own spirit. Your body is expressing what is in yourself. And you're like, really? So no medication? No gene therapy would solve the problem? No, actually the control is inside of you. The control room is there. If you work on it, you can change the game. Well, it is a happy story because after a few months, as he kept reading the book, he found in there, almost as if he were enrolled in school of emotions. He found in the Gospel according to Spiritism recipes to tame his feelings. And he succeeded. So can we. How? What does it have to do with this sixth sense? How can our emotions make connections? A smile or a look can make us connect with other people here in the visible world, but not only, also in the invisible world. How so? So let us march together in this journey of discovery. We are celebrating 150 years of the Medium's book. That's why these specific events that we have from today to tomorrow is about mediumship. Because we're celebrating a new era in humanity. One that has an era before the Medium's book was published, and from the day it was published in 1861 onwards. We are in an era to identify one of the most important abilities of all of us, and we don't know about it. We don't know what to do. Just like the boy in the movie Sixth Sense. He used to see spirits. I see dead people. And they are not dead because they are quite scary for him. And what do? You feel it. What do? You just dismiss it. Or go to the psychic. Should I listen to what the medium or the psychic tells me in regard to what to do in my life? So this book tells us, as a good manual, what to do with one of our most important faculties as being humans. And in that regard, we need to combine it with our reasoning. Because actually emotions and reasoning are so intertwined that Dr. Antonio Damasio, one of the leading neuroscientists today in the world, is a Portuguese living in America, in San Diego. And at the University of California in San Diego, he opened a new opportunity for all of us to understand that we are wired to feel emotions. Emotions are a part of us. To think, we need also to understand our feelings. They are an integral part of our cognition, as we say. And in that regard, when we talk about emotions and reasoning, we talk about the fact that we have an emotional intelligence. Since 1990, for the first time, when this expression was launched in the world, scientists revealed that more than our intellect, we have an intelligence that is in the realm of emotions. What is it? They define emotional intelligence as being the ability to monitor our own emotion and observe and also monitor, keep track on other people's emotions. Not only that, but the ability to discern amongst them, to discriminate, to know when we are happy from when we are sad, joyful, and etc. And also the ability to use that information to guide our thinking and our actions. How far are we from being PhD in our emotional intelligence? It's probably the fact that we are in an era of emotional literacy. If we study it as a neuroscientist ourselves, we have identified that our era is of creating the alphabet of emotions. Majority of people barely know the names of emotions. If you ask them to spell them, they probably don't know. If you ask them to put words, they don't know. Imagine creating sentences, writing paragraphs, pages, books of emotions. Did you know there is a dictionary of emotions that encompasses 150 emotions? Right now, we ask, since you arrived here, what would be the names of emotions you have been feeling? Just this moment. Don't think about this morning, yesterday, 10 days ago, the whole life. If we had a pen and paper to write in there. I felt, would you mind sharing? Felt happy, angry. I won't ask why. It's okay, bring title to our emotions. Anxious. Curious.
Anxiety.
Some form of anxiety. Empathetic. What else? And then we have to look right inside for sharing, by the way. And then we look, what is this emotion I'm feeling? What name is this? Sometimes we don't know, right? You see how hard it is? Has anybody in this room ever been to a school of emotions? Raise your hand. Have you ever been to one? School of emotion? In your area where you live, is there one? You've heard about it? School of emotion. Come in and get your PhD on emotion. Do you? Coaching? Have you been coached on emotion? On a teacher? How to name them so you can claim them and then tame them. Very hard. We don't have it. That's the future of humanity. So if you need a business, we would say, what's for business? Open a school of emotion. We can help you put together a curriculum. That's what we do at the University of Maryland. So think about it. We have no school. Don't blame yourself.